The MCU Hulk sucks. I don't like what they've done with the character, and I'm just a Spider-Man cosplaying gym rat who loves the comics and respects the authenticity of the character. Now, today I want to talk about the news that we've heard about the brand new day Spider-Man movie that's said to be released in, 2026? I think it got pushed back to 27. But Hulk is said to have an appearance of some variety in this movie, and he's also said to be an antagonist, a bad guy, which I'm sure has to do with this whole multiverse stuff, which I am honestly just sick of, so hopefully we can wrap this up with a nice red bow. But with that said, this being a Spider-Man movie involving the Hulk, with the Hulk not having an independent film since Incredible Hulk, speaking of which, let's actually wind back the clock a little bit, talk about who the Hulk used to be, who the Hulk actually is in the comics, and what he's turned into since then. So Hulk's first appearance in the MCU actually takes place with the Incredible Hulk film back in 2008. Edward Norton played the role of Bruce Banner / the Hulk, and I gotta say, loved that movie because it was a very good iteration of who the character actually is. Point Blank is a big angry dude who smashes things, and you got a lot of that in that film. After that, we did a whole revamp in 2012 with the first Avengers movie where Hulk, Bruce Banner was recast as Mark Ruffalo was recast as the character of Bruce Banner, which when I first saw that, I wasn't really too sure about how that would go. Sure, Mark Ruffalo is a good actor, and you know, he did okay, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I just didn't get the Hulk, Bruce Banner vibes that I did with Edward Norton. However, the Hulk we did get in that movie was a very close iteration of what we expect from the Hulk. He runs through stuff, smashes things, get angry. Not a whole lot of speech. He says puny god at one moment. I think that's the only thing he says in that other than screaming a bunch. But that's the Hulk. He was smashing left and right. The I'm always angry quote, that's a very famous line from that movie where he transforms, like he got some sense of control over the character of the Hulk and is able to kind of control that, which is a really good point to make from where this Hulk started with Mark Ruffalo versus where he ends up later on. We'll get into that obviously throughout the video. And then of course we have Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, where aside from the whole Black Widow, Bruce Banner romance side story, which that kind of came out of left field, the aspect of Hulk in that film, which I think the most notable scene that we remember, that we can recall in that film, was with the Hulkbuster versus the Hulk. That was an awesome scene. That was great, well done, and although the Hulk was mind controlled, you did see a lot of destruction from what he was doing. So that was a good take on that side of the character. Don't mind that at all. So far so good. Now with things starting to take a left turn here, we enter into Thor Ragnarok. This is, I think, where we see the Hulk ever since the other Age of Ultron, because we find out where he ended up. He ended up somehow on a different planet, Sakaar, and Hulk is this gladiatorial champion who Thor fights in the film. But you're now entering goofy territory where, sure, that fight was okay, and honestly, that fight was just okay to me. I didn't really like it too much. It wasn't what I would have expected, with the Hulk being as strong as he is, and we will get into that. I expected more. Already, yeah, we get a little bit of punching and screaming and I'm the Hulk and all that, but we're starting to deteriorate the character. I think this is the turning point for the character, if I'm being honest. And then we have Endgame, Professor Hulk, where Bruce Banner and the Hulk, they finally make amends with each other and they work together, but it's this, again, goofy sense of, it's just Mark Ruffalo, but CGI'd green and big, and taking selfies and handing out tacos. Do I need to say more? Because honestly, from 2008 to now, where we're talking about Endgame, this transformation of the Hulk, this is no longer the character of the Hulk. And yes, sure, you can argue that in the comics there was Professor Hulk where he was more intelligent, less smashy smash, but it's based on the comics. So yeah, cool that we get this iteration of Professor Hulk, and that's fine. But all I'm saying is, with those, from 2008 to, 2019, and the character of the Hulk has just gotten less and less and less of who he actually is, and dare I say or mention She-Hulk. 2 words, yoga instructor. All that to say, this is not the Hulk. This is not, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. This is not, I'm smashing everything in my way. This is not the strongest there is Hulk. And my hope for this movie is that even though it is most likely going to be multiversally involved, that they bring some semblance back to who the Hulk is supposed to be. Let's actually dive into some of the comic book references of Hulk's greatest feats. Whether you like the Hulk now in the MCU or not, this is the Incredible Hulk. So let's start off with an oldie but a goodie. Secret Wars, number 4, where Doctor Doom, or you got the whole Battle World thing. This is the comic series where eventually Peter Parker finds the black suit, transforms, and he gets the new black suit, whatever. It's that whole saga. But there was one scene in particular with the Hulk where I think, based off the little memory that I have of it, it's been a while, but I think there was an attack of some sort, an explosion that went off, and the Avengers, and I think the Fantastic Four, and I think X-Men were there too. The explosion went off, and this huge mountain is coming down on top of them, and the only thing keeping them between getting smashed into a pancake or living through this is the green giant, the Hulk. He's literally holding up 150 billion ton mountain. Sure, it's a comic book, it's fiction, doesn't make sense, but like, how rationally does that work? The fact is, he did it. The Hulk was the only thing keeping those heroes alive. He was holding that up. Now, where else have you seen that semblance of strength in the MCU thus far? Another one, we just saw, or didn't just see, but Thunderbolts recently, a few months ago at this point, came out, and we saw our first take on the Sentry. Sentry is this god-level, tier-level superhero, but he's got a mental instability. However, in the comics, the Sentry fought the Hulk in the World War Hulk series, where, I'll just give a brief rundown of this whole thing, but essentially, Hulk gets banished off into space by the Illuminati, which is a group of heroes, including Tony Stark, Mr. Fantastic, what have you. They get sent from Earth because he's too much of a danger to be kept there. So he gets sent into space, hoping for a better world. He damages the ship on the way, or somehow gets detoured into a wormhole, ends up on a different planet. This planet's name's Sakaar. Sakaar, he ends up becoming this gladiatorial character, which is where we got the Thor Ragnarok story kind of based off of, but they kind of really tweak that. Anyway, he wins. He fights against the Red King, I think is the name of the bad guy in that whole story, and so he wins. He gets married with the right hand of the king, who then becomes good and gets married with him, has a kid, and basically he makes a home of Sakaar. He makes a home out of this place, right? And then all of a sudden, the ship that he came on to this planet, it explodes, causes this massive explosion, which takes out most of his guild, his wife, his pregnant wife, actually, so his kid's getting blown up. Everything's blown up. And at this point, when you remember the phrase, "you wouldn't like me when I'm angry," from the Hulk, this is like 100 times that. He is Hulk level pissed. So he marches all the way back to Earth, basically putting blame on this whole thing. The fact that any of this happens because of the heroes that sent him away in the first place. He wrecks shop. So he wrecks the X-Men, no problem. He wrecks the Avengers, no problem. Nothing works against this guy. He is a walking multiversal threat, universal threat. No one can stop this guy until they send out the Sentry, which at this point, this allows Hulk to really cut loose. Both of them are just back and forth, back and forth. Every move, every punch, every step they make is causing earthquakes around the Earth. This is a literal sense and meaning of the word or term, earthquake. The whole Earth is quaking with the sound and reactions of their battle. I can go on and on and on. Obviously, there are tons of things in the comics that I'm missing, leaving out. But the truth and the fact of the matter is, folks, is that the Hulk, he is a living, breathing weapon of mass destruction. And that has long been forgotten in this whole Professor Hulk stint, which, real quick, why are you making a Spider-Man film with the Hulk in it? Why can't we just have a standalone? Remember Tobey Maguire? Remember Andrew Garfield? They had their own movies with villains that made sense, with characters that made sense to be in it. But they didn't take away from the fact that this is still a Spider-Man film. With Brand New Day, you got the Hulk thrown in there, supposed to be playing this major role as an antagonist. Maybe, again, this is all rumor or speculation, nothing factual or grounded. But why would you not, after No Way Home, after the way that ended with him making his own suit, getting his own place, making it on his own, and just, this is our family neighborhood Spider-Man return to form. And then the next movie right after that is, we're gonna throw in the Hulk. The reason is because, and also the reason why they haven't made a serious or more serious toned Hulk film since 2008, is because Hulk sells toys. Kids love the Hulk. Families, children, what have you, they love the Hulk. Spider-Man, another character that is well beloved between adults, kids, children of all ages, people of all ages. They love the Hulk. So why not, money thought here, if Spider-Man makes us money, and people love the Hulk, and Hulk makes us money, put them together. Billions, instant, like, no. No, stop doing this. Look, return to form, authenticity, full send. Like, why? I'm trying not to get too upset, but this is what keeps happening. Whatever makes you money, you do it, and then it flops. And now with movies that they put out that just kind of pan to the people who like it, or because it makes us money, we'll do it. For the sake of it makes us money. Rather than let's base it off the heart of the comics, people who love these characters, let's do that justice and make a good film. It's so frustrating because it's turned into whatever makes us money we're gonna put out, because if we can't do that, we can't keep making these movies. So it's like a give and take catch-22 type of deal. It's frustrating. For those of us who love the comics and love these heroes and want them to be done justice in the films, it's like, yeah, sure, we can pout and rant and scream into the camera about why they're not doing it right, but I honestly think they have a reason for the way they're doing it, and hopefully they make it work. With that said, with Brand New Day, with Hulk supposed to be in the movie, I hope they give or bring back some sense of who the character of the Hulk was. And hopefully moving forward, because I mean, the Hulk will have many other movies or films that he's in, or hopefully at some point gets his own movie, whenever that's supposed to be, whenever we get the rights for it. Anyway, I went off a bit of a rant there, but let's bring it back and just talk a little bit about what the Hulk may be doing in this film. Is it a mentor role, which if they're sticking with the whole Professor Hulk thing, then maybe, but I've never really seen the Hulk, whenever Spider-Man and the Hulk are in the same comic, where he's had that mentor role. It's more so that they think they're at odds with each other, they fight a little bit, realize that they have a common goal, and then they work together to conquer it or accomplish it. That's usually how those go. So what kind of role would he have? And I'm tired of Spider-Man having a mentor. We already got Tony Stark, we already got Norman Osborn in that animated Spider-Man movie, series, sorry. We need Spider-Man to just be his own hero, but apparently that's not gonna happen, so whatever. I'm praying, but you know, I'm not gonna hold my breath. So I don't think it's gonna be that. Is it a multiversal thing? I'm leaning a lot towards that because this is a very multiversal series of films. This is the multiversal phase that we're in within the MCU, and wrapping that up with Doomsday and Secret Wars, and hopefully revamping everything else. So it's most likely going to be that. Am I happy about it? No, because it's another excuse to create another Hulk who's closer to what we want, but it's not the main continuity Hulk, and so we're only gonna see this guy for a little bit and then dip. I want something that's gonna stay a while, something that's gonna be grounded in the next decade or so of movies where this character is the character that he's based off of from the comics. This is who this is, and this is who you're stuck with until whatever. But I'm tired of switching left to right, up and down between this dimension or this multiverse or whatever it is, whatever have you. It's not the one and only, you know? And I'm just, it's getting annoying. It's getting frustrating. So hopefully they land the plane with the Fantastic Four film, which comes out in really a few weeks, well, about a month, a little less than a month. So that's coming out. We have Secret Wars and Doomsday, which that's years out, but still, that should be wrapping up this whole multiverse series. So I'm really hoping with the, I almost said the Jonas Brothers, what are they called? What's their name? With the Russo brothers making a return to make these films, I'm really hoping that, because they did such a great job with Infinity War and Endgame, so hopes are high with them taking the helm here and finishing off this series with Doomsday and Secret Wars. With Brand New Day kind of giving the sense of a new beginning for Peter Parker, this may also be a new beginning for the Hulk. This may be a revamp for the character. Right after No Way Home wrapped up with Spider-Man becoming his own hero or learning to be on his own, maybe they're using that as a piggyback for the Hulk to make his return to form in this film. And then from that point, hopefully we get more of that Hulk, more of the Hulk that we know and love and remember. There's still a few questions or unanswered questions. There's the fact that, okay, Hulk, I think, with his son Scar made an appearance in She-Hulk, so what's that all about? Did he go back? Because apparently there was some other drama happening back on Sakaar. Did he go back? What's gonna be his reason for return back to Earth, and how's that all gonna make sense? But I really miss the Hulk. I really miss the Hulk and who he used to be, and I want that return to who the Hulk is supposed to be. And with all these things that are left kind of unanswered and a lot that has kind of been left untouched for some time, it's really hard to say what Hulk we will end up with. But with the Hulk that we will be getting in this movie, allegedly, what are your hopes to see? Well, are you hoping to see the Hulk that smashes, the Hulk that is the strongest there is, or are you thinking we're gonna get more of the Professor Hulk vibe, yoga instructor type of thing? Anyway, that's the video. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Spidey Trainer, and on your way out, remember to smash the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell for more notifications on whatever video I have coming up next. Down in the comments below, leave a comment about what kind of Hulk you expect to see in this new brand new day movie. And until next time, stay amazing.